It's time for Push to Play, your weekly trophy podcast and all things PlayStation with CJ, Mindy and Unknown.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us for episode 13 of Push to Plat. And boy, do we have a show for you today. In fact, we're pretty lucky we have any sort of show for you today. We've had a few technical difficulties over the last few days, but we're finally locked and loaded and ready to go. And I'd like to welcome my co-host for the ominous episode 13, Mr. Unknown. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, look, I can't complain. If I'm going to be completely honest, I actually had to make a trip to the dentist yesterday afternoon. I fear and loathe the dentist, so I've been putting this off for quite a few years. But I finally went.
Candy, typically.
Well,
all his cavities, all his drills.
No, well, I think they're decent for an old man. I think my teeth are okay. I got a filling like ages and ages ago when I was a kid, and so this filling's been in there for like, well, you know, an older kid, I suppose. It's been in there for like almost 20 years, and I've just been avoiding it, but I know it's coming loose or whatever, so I finally went in.
20 years.
I know. Well, it just gives you an idea of how old I am.
You are determined to not spend money at the
Well,
dentist.
I'm just fearful of the drills, I think, and all of that thing. And anyway, so I haven't been in ages, and it's probably got way better as well, because I remember when I went, like, as a kid, I was terrified. It was a dreadful experience. So this time it was really, like, painless. Like, well, you got all the mouth drugs or whatever else they stick into you, so you can't feel anything anyway. And it was good. So
Oh, man, the mouth drugs.
Yeah. It felt good yesterday because I couldn't feel anything on the side of my face for a couple of hours. But now it's much better, and so no pain or whatever.
Hopefully that was just from mouth drugs and not something like a stroke.
Well, you know, I was considering self-medicating myself. I wasn't sure if you're allowed to drink after you've had that or not, but I was very good and didn't. So I don't know. I'll have to stock back up tonight, I feel. Self-medicate for sure. But I can safely say that a trip to the dentist was less painful than plaiting root leather, I think. So there you go. Given the option, I think I'd go back to the dentist again rather than do that game again.
It's certainly faster.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah. So why don't we segue into our question of the week this week, Unknown, and it's about gaming reviews. Do you read gaming reviews yourself? Do they influence your decision to buy? Well, what do you think?
I do not read them. I will watch gaming review videos just to see gameplay, but I won't read reviews because usually I don't agree with them anyway. So, the review doesn't mean too much. Like if it's like a everything, no, I don't even know, because some games have gotten really bad reviews and I've liked them, and then some games get really good reviews. As you know, I am not super impressed by them. So to me, it doesn't really matter. I think it just depends. Everyone has different tastes. Depends on the taste of the author. They're going to probably bias it in a certain way. Or they just don't even know what they're doing. We've had reviewers like that, too. I've seen them.
That's very true. Yeah. Have you ever so you wouldn't use it to maybe potentially save money? Like if you're on the fence about buying a game, if you're at that point and you just buy it, would you? Or you're still not tempted to check it out?
Like if I was completely 50-50.
Or have you in the past?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really search them. I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to look on like websites that had reviews and stuff. I don't even really read gaming websites about like with reviews and things. I mean, if I want gaming news, I'm usually just watching YouTube videos with their gaming news roundup there.
Yeah.
Typically. Or some post about one specific topic on like Twitter or something, or someone links something in a Discord or something, and I'll read the article. There's no websites that I like follow that for, I don't know, gaming reviews or news or anything like that I'll look at every day anymore.
What about like friend recommendations, like reviews like that, I suppose?
Friend recommendations, I think I value more highly than other reviews, because like I typically know what some of my friends' games like they like, and then like I'll know if they like games that I used to like or I do like, I should say. But it's like because like if I'm talking to some friend that's really into I don't know, uh, Pokemon or Mega Man or something, not you with the Mega Man, but
The evil Mega
remember
Man.
playing that and they really liked those games, then this game is similar to those and they really like it, then there's a chance that I probably really like it too. But if it's someone reviewing the game that only plays uh I don't know, NBA 2K, that's all they play, and then they review this Mega Man game, well, chances are they're going to not like it if they never play 2D platformers, even if it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I often wonder that too when you read some of these, I don't tend to use reviews either, but when you look at some of these like major powerhouses like IGN or whatever else that are writing these reviews, I mean, they're so stretched thin with these games, like they're just trying to power through it. And, I know
Yeah,
they're
that's the thing too. They try to rush them too. And
yeah,
the games I like the most are not the most popular of games. So
mm,
it's like the games that I enjoy the most are probably games that they don't, I don't know, probably don't spend as much time on. Probably try to barrel on through. They can spend more time reviewing Call of Duty and God of War and whatnot.
yeah, like the things that I suppose get them hits, and I suppose so. I don't know. Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I mean, personally, myself, I don't use reviews for anything, movies, books, games. I take recommendations on board, but I don't like the experience to be spoiled or shown or whatever else. And I also find that my taste is very eclectic, so it would be very difficult for me to find someone that I like. I think I find reviewers the job of reviewer fascinating. Personally, I don't really understand why anyone would think their opinion is better or more valid than anyone else, which I know is ironic because we're on a podcast at the moment pushing our opinion along, I suppose. But I mean, I don't know. I think I think it's what you say, like,
Well, you just got to think of that though. It's their opinion. It's not
yeah, that's right. And
basing it on a complete factual scale, like a measurable, definite
yeah,
scale.
that's right. And I suppose because I don't follow reviewers, I don't really know which reviewers would fall into my sort of similar gaming taste. I suppose if I followed it more, then I would know people that play, like, as you say, like with friends, because they're either playing the stuff that you play or they're playing different stuff. So you have an idea. But with general reviewers, if you don't follow them, it's hard to know what their sort of preferences are. So how it would
Yeah, even people like that you would like individuals you'd follow on, I don't know, something else, like some other site or
mm,
something. At least and you just see that's mostly what they play, like that's mostly what they stream or
mm,
something. I think their opinion on that certain genre is probably better than the blanket reviewer that is on I don't know, IGN or
yeah.
whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they got some specialized reviewers. I haven't been on there in a while. I mean, I've read articles on there like every now and then just because something comes up. I don't regularly look at game reviews or anything.
And sometimes it's just exciting to jump in, I think, as well. And, it's a new experience. We see whatever it is. I mean, obviously, it's different for me because I'm not trying to complete every game I start, basically any game I start. But for you, I can see that would be a consideration. With that in mind, are there any, of your gaming friends who you would.
Well, they don't complete. Most of the reviewers don't even complete the games.
That is true, yeah. With that in mind, though, are there any of the sort of friends that you might ignore their suggestions to because of the sort of games they do recommend you play?
I guess. I mean, there's people that will tell me play like this certain like big AAA game or something, and I don't think so.
So like if someone kept saying you should play like Nino Kuni 2, would you just sort of like ignore that, or
Well, no, Nino Kuni 2 is actually a game I think I would like.
Final Fantasy 14?
Well, I like JRPGs though. That's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Be
cool.
more, I don't know,
Yeah.
Call of Duty modern warfare remoderned or whatever that.
I can tell by the excitement in your voice that you're eagerly anticipating the next Call of Duty for this year as well.
Yeah.
That battle royale mode, it's got your name all over it.
Battle Royale Call of Duty. Oh man, don't they have that already?
That's right. Well, I can't play those things because the games go for 15 minutes, which is 10 minutes longer than I normally play for. So, unfortunately, that
just queuing up for the battle royales. 15 minutes.
Usually I die within the first few minutes, or I kill myself anyway. So it doesn't really matter. As long as it's under 5, I'm good with it. I think as it goes along. So
I'm sure your teammates appreciate you killing yourself.
Oh, I don't play with other people. I'm not that advanced. I just did the solo one.
Oh.
I think in my whole life I've had 2 battle royale experiences. One in Fortnite where I was building a bridge off the side of a cliff and I ran out of wood and accidentally fell off the bridge and died, which was tragic. And then the other one, I don't know what happened. I was in a thing and then I was suddenly dead. Someone did like an amazing hook shot through the window around the counter and took me out, I think. I don't know. So
I don't think I've ever played a battle royale in my life.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not. I think I have.
Look, I mean, they're hugely popular, but I don't know. Not for us, obviously, I suppose. So anyway, we've got.
I'll play the Tetris one. I'll play
Tetris
that.
Battle Royale. Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, Tetris Battle Royale. I feel like they made that as a joke, and then like it's to poke fun at battle royales, and then it was like actually a legit thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not a ton of people play it, but it seems like someone in my chat the other day called it the adult battle royale.
Is this on the Switch we're talking about, the Tetris?
Yeah, it's a Switch battle royale.
Tetris 99 or whatever it is. Yeah,
but I like puzzle games, so I like puzzle games way more than first person shooters.
I heard someone talking about that game, and it was fantastic. They're like, I think they were American, so they're like, I'm not sure how the time zones here work, listeners, so you'll just have to indulge me. But they're like, if I play in the early evening or the afternoon, I usually do quite well. But then as the night goes on, I get knocked out quicker and quicker because all the Japanese people come on. It links into their time zone, so they can't beat them. Obviously, because a place like Battle Royale or whatever, they were getting in the top, I don't know, 20 or 10 or something, but they can't get anywhere near that once the Japanese come. Gaming gods as they are, particularly for those sort of games. So I suppose if you are going to play it, you better check your time zone correctly there as you go. So why don't we throw into what you've been playing this week, Unknown? What have you been playing?
What I've been playing?
You've been playing a bit.
TimeSpinners is an awesome game. However, the Vita version not as good. The Vita version is like a little laggy. Like you can still get through it. It's still very playable. But it's just like certain screens, you'll notice the frame rate drops like crazy. Like screens that have water in them seem to be the worst. For some reason, they couldn't handle like the bubbles in the water and stuff. Just completely screwed it up, or not completely, but it messed it up. It was noticeable. And like I had fun with it. It was a good Metroidvania. And it's cross-buy too, so like you could play it twice for the $20.
I know the last time you mentioned that game, you said you couldn't find a guide, or you hadn't looked for a guide. Do you
don't
need a guide?
Need a guide.
No,
you don't need a guide. You just the only thing I really used. There's like a Steam guide probably. I don't know. I used some map. There's a trophy for 100% map completion. I just Googled Time Spinner complete map or whatever. That's all I needed really. There was one trophy for getting an orb without breaking a pedestal that I looked up a YouTube video for. It was like a 30-second thing, and I think that's really all I used.
What about all these collect all, downloads, letters, memories? Is that pretty straightforward, or
you just get them? If you're gonna fill in the map, you're just gonna find everything.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Excellent.
So there's really no need for that.
Yeah, and it's cross-buy, and was that a Metroidvania? Did you say, or?
Yeah, it was a Metroidvania. It was a very good one. Like it felt like, especially when you get the dash ability and you're just like sliding around through the rooms and stuff, it just feels really good.
Yeah. I've never heard of this game before. It must have it was last year, so it must have just
Yeah, it came out last year. But I was like waiting for a price drop and it just never came, and it was like, well, I kind of want to play it, so we're gonna buy it. I had nothing I really wanted to play, so so I did that twice. Mm-hmm. I played some trophy trash too.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. It only took 2 weeks.
The PUBG games were on sale for like $3 or something. So I bought some of those, but I didn't use a guide really for them. I mean, I used the guide.
Hang on a second.
I just looked at what puzzles I needed to finish.
I didn't use a guide.
You don't need a guide for these things, really.
No.
Well, I did. I looked at what puzzles I had to finish for word Sudoku. The first mix-ups, I looked up like 4 answers or something,
Yeah.
maybe 5, and then crossword or one word you don't need a guide whatsoever.
Mhm.
Like they'll be faster, but they're not as fun, and they're pretty short even without it. You can just ease your way. Like you can just get hints in all of them, and that doesn't affect you anyway. So then I played some really old stuff that I never did. Arcade game series Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man.
Mm.
Because it was like 4 years ago or whenever they came
Are
out.
they the ones you have to
Never
use,
played
like,
them.
you have to back up your save or something and then download it?
You don't have to, but I highly, highly suggest it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy if you do that. I mean, it's a little tedious, but
Mm.
there's a couple of trophies that took a little bit, but it wasn't really too bad if you're backing up your save. I wasn't even back aggressively as I could have.
Have you played the other 2? There's 2 others, isn't there? Like Dig Dug and another one?
Yeah, I played those a while back.
I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, you know. Mm. Oh,
Galaga.
that's right. You've done those, yeah. Same sort of idea, wasn't it, with the save or the backing up or something? Yeah.
Well, it has backing up. If that's what you mean by the same sort of
Yeah,
idea.
different games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different game. The one is like a shmup, and the other one is like a Dig Dug. I don't know how do you describe Dig Dug other than Dig Dug is like a Dig Dug?
Seems good enough to me. What I'm interested in, can I ask, did you find the Pac-Man harder than the Ms. Pac-Man? Or are they about the same?
No. I thought Miss Pac-Man was harder than Pac-Man.
Because the trophy percentage is interesting.
I always heard that Pac-Man was harder.
Yeah.
But I feel like Miss Pac-Man was harder because the ghosts are faster. Like even in level 1, they outrun you.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Pac-Man is very I don't want to say unbalanced, but it's like in Pac-Man when you do the first level, the ghosts are slow, and then as you progress, they get faster and faster. You can outrun them easily in like levels even 3 and 4. But in Mrs. Pac-Man, level 1 they can outrun you. Then it's like level 3 you outrun them. Level 5 you start outrunning you again. Level 8 you start outrunning them. There's like some weird inconsistency there that I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like a 20% different. That's strange. Yeah, gender bias maybe. Everyone's playing Ms. Pac-Man, but no one's finishing the Pac-Man. I don't know.
I don't understand why that's. I feel like Mrs. Pac-Man. I don't know. Maybe there's some reason that it's easier, but I feel like the ghosts were faster. So how could it be easier?
Don't know.
I mean, there was tunnels on the right and left side that you could loop around like more than in Pac-Man, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows?
I think there might be less dots on the screen.
Oh,
maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But it shouldn't matter that much. I don't know. Anyways, I'm really surprised that Pac-Man is only at 28%. Well, I say only 28%. I guess that's fairly high.
Well, I mean, I got my 5% in it, so look, I'm pretty close to doing the average on that one.
5%. What did you do?
I'm not going to do
like
save backing up. I'm not playing that game. That's too much effort. I don't bother changing the date on the system.
You don't need. You can still get through level 17.
Yeah, but that probably requires skill. So there's a bit of a deficiency.
Not really, because you can set it to 5 lives, and you can set it so that you start on any level that you want after you reach it.
Okay, well maybe I will go back at some point and Pac-Man up. I don't know. I don't think I've done the other ones either. Actually, maybe I did the Galaga. I don't think I did the Dig Dug. Anyway, that's irrelevant. What about this High Q Ace? What is that?
That was also a really old. That was some really old free 100% game that I had. It was like EU only or something.
Is that a puzzle game or what is that? I don't know that.
Yeah, you just put puzzle pieces in place for a half hour.
Oh, it's a bit like that other one then.
And there's like 6 puzzles. Well, there's a lot of puzzles, but it's like only 6 are available, and then it says the other ones are locked until later. Of course, I didn't download the update, so maybe that was why. That's probably why, thinking about it. Anyways, it's not...
So you only have to do some of the puzzles, you don't have to do them all, yeah.
Well, you could all just do one puzzle. You could do all the trophies on one puzzle if you want.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, oh, cool. I will look into that. I'll make a note of it. Yeah. Oh, I love games like that, yeah. And what else have you got? Some more stuff there I can see. How did you find the Ghoul Boy again?
Ghoul Boy was easier the second time. It's a lot easier when you buy upgrades in the game. It was hard for me when I did. It was hard. I found it hard when I didn't buy upgrades. You had to really platform and stuff good at the end because you die in like 2 hits. When you have an extra 2 hits to take or 3 hits, it becomes immensely easier. And when you have a weapon that has longer reach, plus it deals more damage. The other upgrade, who cares about that one? But
What about this obtain 5,000 coins? You have to have the 5,000 on you, don't you? Is that right? Or
yeah,
so are you better off to do that first before you buy upgrades, or are there
no,
just tons of coins?
you're better off to. You're better off just going buying the weapon and buying the health upgrade.
Uh-huh.
I would think in that order, and then you should still be able to get 5,000 coins. Don't buy the last upgrade, because I was able to get the weapon, get the health, get 5,000 coins, beat the game, and then buy the other upgrade
Okay.
without farming anything. I mean, I did die several times, but well, 50 times, I guess. But the it wasn't. I didn't have to go back and farm money.
No.
If I would have bought the one first, I could have either played more poorly, or I could have farmed money at the end.
Played more poorly. I like it.
Yeah.
This is a game for me, definitely. I need to look into this again. So this is there's what we decide. There's 2 PS4 stacks and 1 Vita. Is that right? Or this game it's
I
confused
think
a lot
so.
of people, I think.
I think that's what it is.
I think it's a generic Vita stack because I think it's cross-buy as well. And then PS4 is.
Is it? It says the Vita one's Asian, and the NA is a PS. I don't know. I didn't try
Maybe
it.
the NA
I should try
EU
it.
is cross-buy.
I have Google Boy.
Yeah.
I could just try it on my Vita
you'll
and see if it's a new look.
Yeah. And the other, so PS4 is, the Asia and the NA EU are the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's cross-buy, but who knows? Look, you can try it. And
well, it is cross-buy. I know it's cross-buy. I just feel like the list is shared on NA.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, cool. And then I see something towards the top there.
You're excited about this one. I've actually
this whole list is full of garbage and spam. I think it's fantastic.
I earned 6 plats in like 2 days without even trying like super hard.
I know.
I only played for like. I didn't even play like the super fast stuff.
No, save
borderline fast stuff for nowadays. I mean, like years ago, Pac-Man would have been considered super fast, but nowadays, not the case. No, this game, I honestly thought I would never play this game, but I got a code for it with the contingency of you have to play this now, and so I wasn't told what the game was either.
It's blind.
Yeah. So, but I will say I had fun playing this. However, that might be heavily because I was streaming it, and it was fun with the chat because we were making fun of things, and yeah, I think that's what made it a good time.
So, what type of? I have not played this yet. So, what type of game is it? It says shooter adventure indie. So what's the actual gameplay in this?
I don't know how much of a shooter this game is. It is like a kind of like a point and clicky thing, sort of. Okay. Like it has like really bad feeling controls, where you use the analog stick to walk forward, or you could rotate your character with the same analog stick.
Yep.
And you can fight enemies with guns, but the aiming is terrible, and it just feels bad to play. You get kind of used to the movement and stuff after a while.
Do you have to play this game twice? I see there's 2 endings. First ending, second ending.
You play the game and you beat the game, and then there's like it's kind of like a new game plus, sort of. I mean, not really, but you go into like you start the game over, and then you do some things to get another ending, but it's not exactly like that you did the first time, and it's much shorter.
Okay.
So like one's like 35 or 40 minutes, and playthrough 2 is like 10.
Okay. Oh, it looks, I mean, the percentages are high across the board, so
why there are 8 stacks of this thing? Oh my god, why are there 8 stacks?
Hang on, how's there 8? There can't be 8. Isn't it 6? Isn't that there is 8.
No, apparently this one has Japanese PS4 and Vita too.
Wow.
I saw this in 2 places to confirm. I mean, it might not be confirmed. It might just be whatever I looked at was off or something, or I don't know, but yeah, I saw it in 2 places that it's getting
that's fantastic. I don't know. I'm just looking.
Unless the Japanese might share lists with Asian. I don't know. I guess that's possible, but
Yeah, I don't know. That 8, wow.
Week, CJ. We'll find out in a
Yeah,
week.
I'm just looking at the listing here on this particular forum for this game, and I'm not sure if it's the mods having a joke or this is actually what the developer's called, but it says here the developer is Throw the Warped Code Out.
No, that's actually their
Is it
name.
really? That's fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't get that at first either, but like all the times it showed this in the game because it would like start up the screen like when you're opening up the game or starting a new game, and it would say throw the warped code out, and I thought it was just like text, like telling you like some part of the story or something.
Yeah.
But then like at the credits at the end, it said like throw the warp code out studios or something.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's what that means.
That's a great name. I like that. I like that none of
Oh,
these
very
people are
good.
taking themselves too seriously. I think that's fantastic.
No, this developer is serious. When you beat the
Oh,
game,
really?
there's like the developer like talks to you at the end.
Oh,
Like not but like through text and stuff. He's like, why I made this game. And back in 1995, this is the type of game people were making. So I was just thinking in my head, it was like, so probably what happened was he wanted to make this game in 1995 and it never happened, but he had it like made already. So then now comes like 2018 or 2019 and he's like, well,
he's been sitting on it.
I gotta throw something together so this fits and people buy this game.
Mm,
So that's what we're gonna
I
do.
love.
I don't know, maybe
I love that.
might be the reason.
My personal hate in the credits, it just annoys the living shit out of me, is when that they put the babies that were born during the production of this game. I'm sure I'm hoping this game doesn't have it. I don't know if have you come across this Unknown, where it's just pages of
I know what you're talking about. That, and then we got all of the developers' pets.
Yes.
Every single.
It was the first time I came across it was the travesty though that is Horizon Zero Dawn, and they just had pages of this stuff, and I was like, "Is this for real? Like, come on!" And I know it's become more of a thing now because I was playing some indie game the other night, and it was made by like 3 or 4 people, and between them they'd had 9 kids since it was making it. I mean, the story of their kids would have been more interesting than the game. I feel like it was just insane. But I mean, come on, too much. Especially when the credits are not skippable, like you actually have to, wait for it to finish. You don't need all that. I don't think you need.
Well, at least, some of the games where they show like every single Kickstarter backer, and it's like a really popular game, and this list is like 500 people.
Yeah, look, yeah. Well, I mean, they gave money, I suppose, don't they, with Kickstarter? So I can sort of,
yeah, that's true.
And I understand, it's the partner, whatever, the support. But I mean, the kid, like, what, congratulations, you're a Horizon Zero Dawn baby. Like, is that going to be your claim to fame for life?
Yeah, they probably named them after characters in the game.
It could be. I'm going to run for the president of the United States because I'm a Horizon Zero Dawn baby. I don't get it. But anyway, look,
people might vote for you based just on that.
Yeah. Well, by that time we'll be up to the PS12 or something. So why not? I know that game will probably still be being re-released. What a shock. I don't know. Anyway, that was a tangent and a half. Is there anything else you'd like to throw out?
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's quite a bit though for you. So you're embracing the trophy slide again. That's good to see.
No, I just don't know what to do. So it's like, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everyone plays all these games. I haven't played any, like, rat game this 1995. Kind of an exception, but most of the rat games I played were just because they were, like, limited run releases or something, where it wasn't, like, super easy to get later on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guarantee you there's 120 rat stacks in games at this point that I have not played.
It's like a tidal wave. It'll just knock you out.
Well, it's like if I just do them all at once.
Yeah.
If I do them all at once.
The thing that I find interesting is there's a couple of VNs coming out, English stacks of the Japanese VNs coming out, I think this week or next week, that are very short, like 40 minutes or something. And I noticed that I hadn't done the Japanese version, and I was like, I'll just go on the store and see how much it costs. And it's getting really hard. Like, I didn't buy it in the end, but it's getting hard to justify paying, $50, $60 for a VN when you can buy these games for $5 and they take the same amount of time. Like,
or less.
Or less, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's no need to buy these VNs, I think. Like,
I mean, like, it's all these like fast plats that just cause like so much stuff to happen too. I mean, like, it's just it almost feels like playing the other games for trophies. If you're playing all the rat stacks and stuff, and then you play other games for trophies, it almost feels like, well, I spent all this time playing this game, and it's like if the plat number matters to you whatsoever, then it just feels like a very small bit into your plat number. I mean, you have the plat for it though, like you have the plat in that hard long game or whatever, but if you're going based just purely on numbers of trophies and stuff like that, he's kind of messed up that system a bit. And not just Rat too. I mean, like Pougy does it all the time now, and a lot of games too. Just like these 1 hour trophy lists.
Yeah, well, I think, like as you said, like doing the game once, like you did back in 1995 once, like you said it's okay, like once is fine, but I imagine you're not going to line up to do it 6. Yeah, that's right. There's a big difference between doing it once and 5, 4, 6, 8, whatever times, I think, isn't there? Like, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I do like I like stacking stuff occasionally too, but I think I don't know. Like I think that's partly because you know the game and there's comfort in playing something and you know how it all works and stuff. But then I mean
yeah, and you could try to make like a more efficient route and stuff like at it.
But then I don't know. Like I mean, I've stacked like obviously short things, of course, but then also like I don't necessarily mind attempting to stack longer things. Like I did Final Fantasy 15 a couple of times, and there's quite a few longer games I wouldn't mind having another crack at or whatever. So I don't know. I think, but I suppose for that it's more just the game itself than things. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but you're also talking about good games that you would want to play again. Course. You're not talking about 1 hour games that are, even if it's okay the first time, the 8th time you do it, you're not gonna.
Well, I think some like that Super Destronaut and stuff like that. Like I quite enjoyed that. Admittedly, I didn't play all the versions one after the other. I just do it sporadically. But some games, like this, as you said, is back in 1995, running it like an hour and a half. I think probably once will be enough for me with that game.
Well, hour and a half point and click sort of deals are VR. VR to me is bad, but I mean, if it's like a Destronaut thing, that's slightly different. But I don't know. It's too much, just overload.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I find too that I like games like, I know you played the Devious Dungeon 2 the other week or something, but I like having games like that. And I know you don't do this; you just play them through till they're finished, but just on the go. So I might drop in and just do 2 levels a day or something, like 2 of the little levels or whatever. And so I don't mind. I know it'll take a lot longer that way, but that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I suppose it's and I think I've got.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Devious Dungeon 2.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean,
to me, it's like if you're it's almost like it's a rat game, and people are still stacking the thing. I mean, not a lot of people, but it's like 8 hours, and it's just like it's not even that good of a game. I mean, I feel like at this point it's not even worth stacking that.
No.
Stacking things for plats. Like if you like it, by all means go play it again. You get your free cross-buy copy, but if you're playing 6 times, I question why you're playing the Devious Dungeon 2 6 times.
Well, it's funny.
I mean, it's easy.
It is easy.
If you want to just play easy stuff, but
well, I don't know. Like, there's quite a few people on my friends list that have been playing it in the last week or so, and it's been interesting just to watch because some of them post their plats and stuff, and most of them are taking a day or two, so they're pretty much they're not playing it straight, but they're playing it fairly straight, I suppose, through or whatever else. But I reckon I do reckon it's a good game that if you did like it, just to chip away. Like as I said, I think I've got like 4 stacks going at the moment, all at about the same position and all with different characters. So you get a little bit different and just a level or 2 here and there. So yeah, I don't know. It's a different way of doing it, I suppose. One day if I finish them all, that'll be 4 plats, I suppose. If I finish them, we'll see. Yeah.
There's only 3 characters, CJ. You chose one twice.
Yes, well, you know what? I don't like the mage character. I don't know if you played as the mage.
That's the one I played as.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I thought he would be better.
Yes.
He didn't shoot very far.
No, that's what I found. And I like the little bit of extra health that the warrior guy has, just as a natural characteristic at the start for him. So yeah, he's my preferred one, I think, out of all 3 of them. But yeah, I don't know, but I'll stick through with them. The mage one is falling behind at this stage, so I don't want to do it. But I'll I don't know. I'll get there perhaps. We'll see. So yeah, that's okay. Enough games. Enough for you. Any more there?
No, that's it. Your
Oh,
turn,
perfect.
CJ.
Oh no. I don't know. So what shall I talk about? I'm going to talk about Rage 2, because I've been playing a fair bit of that in the last week or so. I think I briefly mentioned it last time. So this is quite a good game, I'm going to say. So by Avalanche Studios, published by Bethesda id Software, obviously, the Doom pedigree. So they know what they're doing, and it's obviously it's a shooter, if you like. I heard it described as like
Shooter. Oh,
a shooter. Yeah, that's all you do. I heard it described as a little bit like a Far Cry, stripped down. So like, take away all the random encounters and stuff and just go shoot things.
It had the pink of Far Cry New Dawn. I saw some people
Yeah.
playing it. It
Yeah.
looked very similar. And then also there was I don't know, there's this one area, it's like some desert with this bridge that is the exact same bridge in Borderlands. Yeah. I swear that is the same bridge.
Well, I did play a little of the Borderlands, re-release or whatever on the PS4 just recently, and there are a lot of similarities. I think what I like about this game, and it's probably what a lot of people will not like about the game, is that it is a little sparse. So there's not a huge amount to do, and what you do you sort of repeat. Like, there's not a ton of quest givers and all this sort of stuff everywhere. You sort of it plays like Far Cry in that you go to your bases, you kill everyone in the base, and then the base is cleared and it comes up with like a little clear screen, and then you go for your couple of collectible resources in that base, you find them or whatever, and then you move on to the next one. And between that and they have these sentry towers you can take out as a separate objective, and then some convoys and stuff, and then multiple spawning enemy locations. But other than that, it's just basically that all the time. So it's different to Far Cry. Like, in Far Cry, there's just so much going on. Like, the animals will run at you, all this sort of stuff. So there's none of that in this game. So in a way, it's sort of like I don't know, it's easier to stay on task in this game. Like, if you set a waypoint, you're probably going to end up there. You're probably not going to deviate too much. Although, there's probably is stuff to see, because not everything's marked.
I question you, though. You're saying this game is very, very, very good, yet it is very sparse, and I'm just picturing you're describing the fact that there's like nothing in the game.
Yeah, I didn't say it's very good. Like, it's definitely, I think it's good, but that's what I preface. I think it depends. Like, I think if you're looking for a lot of content, like if you played a Far Cry, if you played Assassin's Creed, and you like lots of like little question marks on the map and lots of quests to do and fetch things and all this sort of stuff, then you're going to find that you probably view this as not a complete game. And I think just like the trophy list is like a perfect example of this. Like, majority of the trophies are all weapon-based kill trophies, like kill a certain number of enemies in a certain way or something. There are a few story mode trophies, but that's
you got to beat the game, CJ.
You do have to beat the game. Yeah, you have to finish the story.
Thank God.
Yeah, the game is not very long. If you just powered through the story, I reckon you could do it in like 10 to 15 hours easily, because the leveling system is kind of strange. Like, once you get there's 3 sort of factions, and once you get each faction to level 5, it opens up all the quests right through to the end of the game, the story quests. So and getting to 5 is not difficult. In fact, I think I did it in the first sort of area of the map without even getting into the other 2 areas. So you can open up the whole story quickly. But if you went around and cleaned up all the bases and stuff, which there isn't actually there are no trophies for that, but if you chose to do that, that's where the length would come in. So I suppose it's more like, it's just fun shooting and stuff. The story itself doesn't interest me hugely. It's not that great. It's fine for what it is.
Skippity doo-dah.
Yeah. There's very few cutscenes in this game. It's mainly just dialogue, animated character dialogue or whatever. So you can just walk away from them mid-conversation if you want, and just carry on with the thing and just leave them there. So, it's relatively...
Yeah, I guess you can do that in Far Cry still.
Yeah, it's relatively painless. I think the writing in Far Cry is usually better in some of the side quests and stuff. There's none of that here. But what there is here, it's sort of, there are a ton of abilities. So, you can there's quite a few guns, but I think there's like 8 or 9 guns or whatever, but they're the core guns. There's no other ones other than that once you find them. But you can, mod them in certain ways, and then you can mod yourself in certain ways as well. So a lot of that's cool, but, to be honest, you wouldn't really need to do any of that if you didn't want to finish the story. It's not, those abilities or those weapons aren't necessarily, required. They're required maybe for the trophies, but not. So I think it's a good game. I mean, if you're looking out for the trophies, the only one I think that's concerning is the destroy 30 spy drones, which apparently can be difficult because the drones are not marked on the map, and they're in sort of a location, but if you miss them, if they take off or you don't know they're there, you don't see them, then they just move around the map. So you just have to keep going around till you find 30. So, and I know some people I've read say they're highly, you can't miss them, but I think I've only got 6 or 7. So I haven't been looking out for them. So I think they are definitely missable. Like if you don't know what they look like, I suppose. Or whatever. But I mean, you can, run around and try and find them afterwards or something. I think the stats trackers are not great in the game either, apparently. But, so I mean, it's a good game if you're looking for something that's like maybe less to do, just fun and, not like a massive open world type game. I don't know. I suppose some people would see it as a failed opportunity. Like they could have put a lot more into it. Which is definitely true.
I don't know. I just hit higher expectations when you said this was a very, very good game, and like 5 minutes ago, and I hear you talking about it, and it's like,
yeah, I think it's good for me. Like I don't know. I tend to drop into really big games when I have time, and this time of year is pretty busy for me. So trying to invest, like I started Days Gone, and like that's a big game, and there's a lot going on, and whatever else. And I just didn't want to commit to something like that at the moment. Whereas something like this, it's just fun, like silly fun. You can drop in and you can easily pick up the story where you're up to and, and carry on. It's not that deep. And, you can just start, clear out a few bases or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Whereas something like A Days Gone, I think you have to be a little bit more in there. And the systems I found a little bit more confusing with that game. So this is very much just pick up and play, or whatever else. And as I said, you can probably, I think the whole they've got around 30 hours or something. So I suppose all that miscellaneous stuff must, be the majority of the game for trophies. But if that doesn't concern you, you're probably only looking at 10 to 15 hours and then you're in and out. So yeah, fun for what it is, but maybe not for you, Unknown.
I don't know. I'm not a big shooter fan, so.
That's fair enough. And then the other thing I'll talk about is the A Plague's Tale of Innocence. So I have finished this game. I haven't done the plat, obviously, but I finished the story, which is the majority of the game, just minus the collectibles and the upgrading and stuff. And it's good. It's very good, I think. So this one I will say is very good, Unknown.
Okay, and not sparse.
Not sparse, no. Well, I mean, it's funny. I hate stealth games. I don't like them at all. And this is a stealth game, but I had no idea it was going to be a stealth game when it started. That it sort of introduces it, but by the end, there's a lot of. It's not difficult stealth, but there's a lot of stealth going on or whatever. In fact, to be honest, I found that I think it was the second last chapter. It just got a little bit frustrating because there was so much stealth, like the whole thing, and some of it I found just a little bit cheap. Depending on where you were standing, they could see you, and it's pretty quick death. Like if they see you, just sort of spear you, and that's it. So I don't know. Like if you like stealth games, you'd be all over it. But that was only one negative, I suppose. Maybe I found, and again, this is difficult for me because I don't play a lot of these type of games that have major sort of boss fights at the end. And obviously, without spoiling it, it's got an interesting sort of stages to that fight, and it took me a long time to figure it out. I didn't watch a guide, but I think I probably tried that maybe 15 or 20 times because I couldn't really understand what was going on. So it's cool when you sort of see at the end and you see what was going on, but it's just a different sort of mechanic. And that's maybe my only gripe with the game was that they introduce things all the way through. Even the last couple of chapters, you're getting new abilities or new things, and you suddenly just have to...
I like that, though.
Yeah.
I feel that's like a positive.
Yeah, I mean, it is good, but you suddenly just have to do it. Like, there's no, like... sometimes when you get, like, a new mechanic, it's like it might just show you, like, one or two enemies how to use it a little bit, like, within the game, like, make set up a section so you can just try it. But it doesn't really do that. It's just like, oh, look, you'll need this now. Just use it. And then you use it in different ways for the whole section. So, I mean, by the end, it's...
Yeah, but that's better.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're introduced to a new mechanic, you should use it, as opposed to, oh, there's another new optional mechanic.
Yeah.
Then you figure out and you vary it more.
Well, see, this is where the problem with the trophies come in, though, with the mechanics. And this... I mean, it doesn't concern me because I'm not going to go for the plat, but I think this would concern you if you were going to do it and you weren't planning on doing it all in one playthrough. So the game does have chapter select, but my understanding is that for these two trophies, the fully upgrade the sling and fully upgrade the equipment, if you go back chapters, it will just load in what you had at that time. So you can't finish the game, have it upgraded, say 3/4, go back and then just do the last quarter. So in effect, you might almost be playing the whole game again if you don't get those 2 trophies. And like, I have no problem with that. But to upgrade them, you need the resources. But you also need the resources to make the ammunition. So obviously, at times you have to make certain ammunitions because there's no way to get through that section. But some of the ammunitions you make, like there's one that will kill a guy automatically, which is sort of like a fail safe. Like if you're just too frustrated and you can't figure it out, you can use it, but it's hugely resource intensive. But there are times where you have to use that. So if you end up crafting too much ammunition, you're going to lock
You
yourself
sure
out of
you
it.
have to use it, or it's like some weird? You can go through some wall or something, some
Well,
tunnel and get around the guy.
yeah, see, I think maybe like 1 or 2 times you have to use it when they introduce it, but I think you're right. I think a lot of the times there's always another way. It's just a matter of, seeing that way or finding it. And I don't know, like I also made a mistake I didn't realize, but there are 3 sort of sections you can upgrade, like your sling, your equipment, and then your alchemy. And apparently the alchemy is not included in the equipment for the trophy, so I wasted resources on that as well, which is probably the reason why I fell short. May have been part of the reason why I fell short, I think, and the overcrafting. So, a good tip would be don't put any resources into the alchemy thing because you don't need it, and it doesn't help the trophy progress. But aside from those 2 trophies, everything else you can go back and clean up in chapter select. It might be I don't know, it might not be a bad game though to use a collectible guide as you go through, because I don't like like it's got walking sim elements in it. So there are sections where the game just basically stops, so you could have a look at what's coming up and where things are. So I don't know, it may be a better game for that. And there's a couple of missable, well, not missable, but a couple of random event trophies that I think you would probably need a guide for. I think I got a couple of them, but I have no idea what the other ones are for. So yeah, I don't know. But that aside, I found the story really good, very, very well written, or whatever else. It's sort of historically, whatever. It starts off loosely, in fact, and becomes less and less tied to reality, I think, as it goes on. But it's interesting.
Well, typically those like historic fiction games do that. Even historic fiction book too.
Yeah.
They kind of like based off of something, and the first few chapters it's strongly tied, and then it just goes like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but look, for they're a small studio, so look, I think they've done fantastically well. And I mean, the game is just at times, as I've said a few weeks ago, it's just stunningly beautiful. At times, I don't think I've played anything on PS4 that looks as good. There's times as well where I think it looks really not great at all. But they're only in the minority. Definitely, most of the scenes are really beautiful, and it's a very narrative heavy game. I mean, you can skip everything, but I don't. I wouldn't recommend it or anything. And it plays in chapters. So most of the chapters I'm just looking through the times, like some are as little as 10 minutes, some are maybe 20 minutes. So each chapter, it's not a massive time sink or whatever. So you're always making progress and stuff. So I don't know. I know it's not quite a full price game, but it basically is. So it could be something to check out if that interests you, but it is highly stealth. So if you don't like stealth at all, then it's probably one to miss.
Or just bomb your way through everything, it sounds like.
Well, yeah. Well, see, there is this cheese mechanic too, where if you just get a bit frustrated and like you get halfway through a camp and you get seen, you can sort of tell where you're heading. If you just run and you try and avoid everyone and run, sometimes you can make it to the bit which will trigger the cutscene, and so you get away with it, which is obviously not what was intended. But if you have the skills of someone like myself, that can be quite. It's worth taking a risk sometimes if you don't know how to get through the section. Just bolt and hope that they don't spear you in the back as you go, but be prepared if they do. So that was good. And then they're the only 2 games I put some real time into this week. I'm just looking through. I might just give a quick shout out to this Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. Are you interested in flying sims?
I don't play flight sims.
No, never.
I don't think I think the closest thing I played was like My Sims Heroes or whatever that was called, or it was like a plane game, but it wasn't a flight sim. You weren't like first person in some sort of jet or something like that.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't play them either, but this one I just picked up on a whim, and it actually has like a campaign story mode that's actually like I'm only in the second mission or whatever, so I don't know how it will go, but it's actually quite good. I mean, it's cutscene heavy, obviously, and then you get in the plane or whatever, and the controls, like I'm usually put
flight
off.
Sim cutscene heavy. That doesn't seem right. But they're in a flight sim.
Yeah, well, it's I thought it was going to be high sim, but I don't think it is. Like the controls are not difficult to use at all, so it's not arcadey, but it's like in between. I think it's not. I wouldn't be put off by the fact if you thought it was a sim at all. And it does have a story, which is starting off seems pretty cool or whatever. I imagine the plot is pretty difficult because uh, you know it's a bit grindy and some of the S ranks and stuff. I imagine you have to be pretty all over flat stuff. But for the story, it seems quite good. And again, it looks really beautiful as well. So I know that came out a while ago, and I don't know how much traction it got. But if you're sitting on the fence with that one and you don't like full sim, then this is definitely like half sim, half arcade. You could definitely get through this without it, I think. So and I'm just playing on controller. I don't have any like crazy setup or flight stick or anything like that. So it's definitely doable. Yeah. So I don't know. That is what I've been playing. Well, been playing for more than like 1%. So that's all that counts, right? I
I
guess so.
suppose.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't we turn? It's not like I need any more new games, but it sounds like you're ready for something to start playing now that you've finished back in 1995. Why don't we have a look at the new release?
I got a big rat backlog though. I got tons of stuff to play.
You do. Well, we
CJ.
might be able to find you a new rat game. Let's have a look.
Oh no, we will on this list.
So would you like?
We'll talk about it in the spam
Yeah,
section, but
yeah. Would you like to kick us off?
yeah. So we got some like RPG sort of deals here. We got this game that's kind of like this Dragon Fang Z, the Rose and Dungeon of Time. It looks like a Chocobo's Dungeon actually, like almost exactly. I don't know. Like I still want to play Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. I never played that game, but um, it's like another one of those you like top down dungeon crawlers where you move and the enemies move when you move. It looks like so you gotta strategize that way, and yeah, I don't know. It looks all right. I'm sure the list is very long trophy wise. Probably fairly difficult and grindy.
That I don't know. That hat that she's wearing in the picture sort of makes her look like a unicorn. I don't know. Well, not really. Like she.
I mean, it looks it looks more like a narwhal
Oh yeah.
horn
Yeah.
actually, spirally and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the best hat in the game. She can spear people by headbutting
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Well, it's better than that.
That's good. It's good to have a spike on the top of your head because then when monsters jump on
That's
you
right.
from the ceiling,
Oh, wouldn't that be
you
fantastic?
can spear them instead of them sliming you or whatever. Actually, if they were slime, they probably would just still, well, the slime would fall over you.
That would be a fantastic
But hey,
mechanic. Probably not going to be in there though. Yeah. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm going to go with. What am I going to go with here? I wrote down some things. Oh, yeah, I'll go with Layers of Fear 2. So obviously Layers of Fear came out last year, or maybe even the year before. I think it was just a 100% game. It was kind of out there crazy about like a alcoholic artist. What a surprise, an artist that's alcoholic. Who would have seen that coming? Who's dealing with whatever the death of his family. And it just gets more and more twisted. I thought it was really good. Actually, some of the puzzles were a little bit abstract or whatever else, but now we have the Layers of Fear 2. It says it's a first-person psychological horror game with an emphasis on exploration and story. Players control a Hollywood actor who heeds the call of an enigmatic director to take on the lead role in a film shot aboard an ocean liner. Beware, for all may not truly be what it seems. So this comes out.
so basically the Titanic 2.
It does look like that, doesn't it, in the picture? The Titanic on the back of
It does.
bodies. I saw a little bit.
Back of a bunch, yeah, a dead stack, very big bodies.
They are. It looks like they're sort of holding it up or something. I don't know.
They're resurrecting it from the sea.
Yeah. I like these sort of games because I know that like the first one had a few jump scares, so I imagine this will be of similar nature. But they do create a very good atmosphere. They're very sort of creepy. The music is usually really good as well. So, and I looked at the trophy list. It looks like majority of the. I mean, it literally is only coming out today. Tuesday when we're recording, so it's not even out in all regions yet. But it looks like the early copies have sort of pushed through the trophies pretty quickly. So it looks like it's not going to be too bad. It looks like it might be more of a fuller game than the first one because it does have a plat as well. So I don't know. It's definitely more pricey.
Well, I mean, most things get plats nowadays, even if their
Yeah,
prequel has
that's true.
100.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll comment on that next time because I've pre-ordered that, so I'm looking forward to trying that tonight. That's going to be fun. I might. I don't want to say I'll finish it, but there's a chance I will finish that game because I did like the first one quite a lot. Do you have another one for us, Unknown?
Yeah, Lapis X Labyrinth. It's a Nisa one. Well, I was watching Nisa streams of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a, I don't know, SteamWorld dig, sort of. I don't know. You like go down into this like labyrinth and attack enemies and stuff, and then you gotta like, I don't know, get out at certain points to save all your stuff, it sounds like. And yeah, I guess you keep going back in and kind of go further and further or something. There's also a lot of gems. When you kill enemies, gems like fly out and the whole screen is filled with gems. A lot of gems in that game. And some really good artwork. Like really good artwork. For me at least.
It does look good. No, I'm trying to be interested.
Trying to be.
It looks like it's going to be long and grindy.
It probably is very grindy. We have a trophy list for it?
Yeah. I don't think there's one up yet. No. What about this Super Cane Magic Zero?
I was considering talking about that too. That game looks, I don't know, I didn't watch it, but just judging by this picture, I feel like I would have some fun with this thing.
I love this description. Listen to this. Cake the wizard is dead, and his magic dog is out of control. Can you save the world? Can you save the dog? Gear up, eat rocks, throw banana boomerangs, and fight a giant potato. What more could you want? That's just perfect.
It almost seems like it should be probably like a $5 game, but we'll see.
It might be. We will see. Yeah, I don't know. And then, I mean, just looking through, like there's a couple we'll throw in the spam section at the end of the episode, I think. This Trover Saves the Universe for PS4 and PSVR, so it might actually be possible to play this just on PS4. This looks kind of quite hilarious.
That's usually how that works. It usually just says PSVR if you have to play it with VR.
Yeah, that looks watch a little bit of stuff. That looks pretty good as well. And then it would be remiss of me if I don't throw out Cricket 19, obviously being an Australian but having no interest in cricket. And I'm sure you have no interest in cricket, Unknown.
I don't know the rules of cricket.
I didn't think so. Yeah. So what I like, you wouldn't be familiar with this studio because they only make cricket games, usually some tennis stuff as well occasionally.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. This Big Ant Studios, they're the most diciest studio you can get. Like almost guaranteed this game will be glitched and broken on release. I think their last effort was the Big Bash game, which is really fun, but it's just as dodgy as all get out, like your blue screen, like anything could happen. So, but it doesn't. I think it's them that made the tennis one, which wasn't much better earlier as well. So, they have a go. But
there's a picture here of this Cricket 19. These people look so unhappy.
Yes,
they just really like depressed and like I don't know.
Like, well, it's also set on a blue screen.
It's their mugshot. The one in the middle looks like he lost his like job in his house and everything. And then the one is like fake smiling.
Yeah, it's not inspiring to play, is it? But I mean, the other great thing about this studio is they have no problem charging full price for a game as well. So it's always at the top of the market, their games. for a studio that doesn't have a great track record and also not even necessarily in fixing their games that much either. Like, I don't know. You want to tread carefully with that one, I think. But as I understand, their games very rarely come on sale either, so they're holding on. But whatever, that it might be harsh. Maybe this one is better, but definitely with that studio, just be careful on that purchase. And then the only other thing maybe is this Blood and Truth, which I don't think will interest you.
We talked about that last week, didn't we? It looks like very familiar. I'm pretty sure we talked about.
Yeah, we won't get into it, but that's by the London Heist people on PSVR coming out this week. So that could be very good, or it could turn out to be like another Bravo team. So that you'll just have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, it looks potentially good. So a lot of stuff there, I think. More than either of us will get to play, I'm sure, in this coming week.
I'm sure I will not play most of the stuff on this list.
Look, I'm going to take a bet you won't play anything on that list.
I might play the stuff I talked about, those two I talked about, and I might play this Keen Magic.
I wonder if you'll play any of them on Switch.
I might not go for trophies on them. I might just play them, but
yeah, or maybe on the Switch. As a couple of both those you mentioned might be on Switch, possibly. I would imagine. Yeah.
I think all of them are.
Well, sort of, why don't we segue into that then? The Switch, what a wonderful system, and E3 coming around the corner with Microsoft set to dominate the world with the world's better console, all these exciting things. But we'll save that, for a couple of weeks when that does happen.
Switch is the best console this year, like sales-wise and stuff. I don't know why you can say that Microsoft is dominating right now.
Well, I see that they beat Sony, I think, in Japan in sales the other month. So
the Switch did.
The
Switch is beating everything.
It's killing it, yeah. I look forward to their next announcement when they announce Vita 2, the Switch version. It'll be great.
Why would you need Vita 2? The Switch version. Well, no, you have the Switch, which is portable.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like the Switch 2, it's sort of like the Vita 2. I wonder if people at Sony are just mystified by how
good the other Nintendo's handhelds do and Sony's don't.
That's exactly right. It might show that there's something to actually having decent games on your system that are polished,
or actually putting effort into it. Maybe
that's right. Yeah. That's one thing with Nintendo. I mean, their games, they're always expensive. They don't drop price, but they are polished, aren't they? They always work.
Well, I feel like Sony didn't give the Vita too much of a chance.
No. Well, I tell you what, all these spam houses are definitely making up for it with all their stacks. So it's not dead yet.
Yeah, but that doesn't even count. That's just like we want to throw our game on every system imaginable, so let's put it on Vita too.
Yes, yeah.
I think that's all we get on Vita now. We don't get any other stuff really. It's all just games that are on other systems, and mostly games that are just spam plats and PUBG games.
The saddest thing is that Sony have stopped reporting the sales figures now on digital sales figures on Vita games, which is a shame. So they obviously, each month they report PS4 and PSVR. Well, they report a number, whether that's true or not, but it probably is, or close to anyway, the digital sales. But they've stopped doing that for Vita, which is a shame because I was waiting for the day when a rat game became the highest selling game for the month on Vita, because it must be very close.
It probably was. That's probably why they decided to not show it.
There's very little else to buy. Like there's nothing new really except for VNs and that.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, the only stuff you're gonna play on Vita it would have to be some older game. I mean, there was good older games, like there was some good JRPGs and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, that was like only good games on there really that I can think of. I mean, we had like an Uncharted and they tried early on for bigger games.
Yes.
We had action RPGs and stuff, but then it was like the only thing we would get then was just JRPGs and VNs, and then nowadays we don't get either of those. We just get 5-minute plats because it's made. So why porting it over to another system is no work whatsoever.
Well, let's save the death of the Vita for another day, because that's definitely going to come around sooner rather than later.
I wouldn't mind talking about the death of the Vita one day.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be too far away, I don't think. I think we're getting very close.
No, I mean, I will say though, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I think the Vita is a very good console, but I don't really want more games made for it because we don't really get any quality games for it, and I would just rather we just not get games for it anymore because that's all we get. It's just Super Weekend Mode and 1995 and et cetera, et cetera. The only thing, I guess, if you were playing PUBG games on like a plane or something, I could see, but I think I would rather them just like not let games go on the Vita. I know a lot of people do not agree with this because I feel like it's a well-made console and everything, but if all we're getting is just garbage, then what's the point?
I mean, in its defense, though, I mean, there are some very good titles as well. Obviously, nothing recent.
Well, not new ones, though, is what I'm saying. I'm saying all the good stuff was old.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think one of the
there might be like one thing that I can't think of right now that came out in the last year.
Yeah.
There could be. I might be wrong on that, but I feel like we haven't gotten anything for years that was decent.
No, No, I would agree. But, I mean, like, I know they're getting harder and harder to find. I mean, they're almost impossible to find here now. I don't know. In the States, I'm sure there are many secondhand ones you can pick up, and, getting them through Japan now new is more and more difficult as well. The prices are escalating. So, I mean, I don't know. I have two for that reason, that I was worried mine would die. But, it's definitely a time that maybe to get one at least, if you can, because I don't know, within a year or two, I think it's going to be very difficult. You know, and then which is a shame, because a lot of those games will be lost. Maybe they'll be ported to the Switch.
Well, they won't be lost. They'll still be on there. We're
Well,
not
only if you have a
It
Vita.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you don't have a Vita, well, you won't be able to play them. So if your Vita dies and you can't get one, that's it. So,
Oh, that's what you mean. They'll be lost.
Yeah. No. They'll be there forever.
I mean, most of the
digitally.
games on Vita are on PS4 anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, I mean, we've sort of segued nicely into this topic anyway. So, why don't we just spend a little time on the topic of this week, which is what games not what we're going to say. So, games that don't have trophies, that we would like to see have trophies. So, I suppose games on other systems is what we were sort of potentially thinking, or if games that are on PlayStation that maybe only have one stack, that we'd like to see have a second stack because we enjoyed it so much. Probably not 8 stacks, but just maybe a second stack. So have you got any there unknown that you would like to see get trophies, or to come to the system?
Yeah, I think Mega Man Battle Network, any of them. I just really want to play. I liked that game so much, Mega Man Battle Network. I think like I mean, there was like 5 or 6 of it, 6 versions. There's one on the GameCube too, but I mean, I really like that game. Like later on, there was ones that I didn't like as much, but I think it was just because it was just so similar. 4 was weird too, because it was like this whole tournament thing. 4 might be one of the worst ones. I don't know, but like I feel like having one of those would be good. You could trophy list for it too, like collect all of the cards or the chips, sorry, and yeah,
There's so
stuff
many
like
Mega
that.
Man game already on the system. Do you really think that we need another one?
It's not. It's like a spin-off thing, though. It's not the same. It's like
Oh, I see.
you run around and there's like random battles, and there's like 9x9 grids that you fight on, and then you choose chips in a deck and use those as your attack, and you move
Okay,
around.
so quite different. Okay.
It's hard to describe, but it's fun.
You're very convincing. Like I'm gonna search it up after. As
It's
everyone knows,
awesome. Play
it's
it. Play
really
Mega Man Battle Network. They're making a new one, but it's only like some one on PC or something. Well, they're not. The company's not making it. It's like a fan-based project, but
yeah, I don't know. I think my fear is that
but
my
I would
console.
want to play with a controller.
Mm, mm,
So that's one.
mm.
Should we go back and forth, or do you want me to just tell you for my list?
Yeah, no, we can go back and forth if you
All
like.
right.
I,
What's
w- I
one
was
you
sort of
want?
Well, I was sort of going to do one that I wish had a second stack. I think, more so because I suppose I haven't played a lot of the older systems, particularly the older Nintendo or Xbox systems. So I don't know a lot of older games that haven't come across or whatever. So for second stack, I was going to put one out there, the Hatsune, the Project Diva X. So again, we were talking before we started recording today about stacking, some longer games as well and stuff like that. And even in the episode actually too. And it's not a short game. I think the
Oh,
trophy
that's
guide's
the
just like,
longest one, right?
yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
80 hours or something. And it's a it's a grindy as game, but I found it really fun. Like obviously some of the event grindiness is whatever. But there, it was a great song choice,
Yeah,
and
that was
there was
my
one.
issue with those. Like the music stuff was great, but half of your time going for the plat was like buying outfits and spending time in the what was the room called? It wasn't called dressing room. It wasn't called diva room.
Yeah, like where you patted them and did stuff like that.
Yeah, where you like set
Yeah.
up furniture and played rock paper scissors with them and pet their heads and things.
Yeah. Well, X
That was
wasn't.
half of what you were doing for the plat, and then the other half was playing songs. And I really like rhythm games and stuff. I just want all the trophies related to rhythm stuff. Like even
Mm,
Persona 5 that or well, there was 3 and 5. They had the card thing too. But it was just like I just want to play
Yes.
songs. I don't want to go find cards in these rooms. I mean, that wasn't that bad because it didn't
No.
take that long. And I guess it was kind of okay. It was kind of
Yeah.
like fun for a little bit. I'd rather just be based on playing, finishing songs and getting good at the songs.
Yeah. Well, the X was a little bit better than the earlier ones in that it was more playing songs. Like the way the event log worked is you had to play the songs a lot of times to get certain drops, items and stuff like that. So it was a little different than just going back and forth like the others into the rooms and stuff. But what I liked about it was there was one trophy. Well, it was a series of like the difficult events that led up to the final concert thing, and I found that was very, very challenging. And I remember at the time when I first saw it, and I thought, oh, I'll never be able to do this. And I watched a video of your, Asian 4-year-old wonder kid there who's just smashing the controller away, and all hands are going, and it's just like, and it's pretty intense. I don't claim to be any rhythm game expert by a long stretch of the margin, but I think that it's a pretty intense series of songs you have to do at level 10. And from memory, it was 3 songs. So it was about 4 or 5, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, continuous, and it comes at you really, really quick. But I ended up eventually doing it with with 2 hands and 4 fingers going and everything else. And I thought it was, I don't know, it's probably the hardest trophy I did. But being a Japanese game, of course, the percentage is quite high because everyone that plays that game will probably be able to finish it. But it was good, and I know a couple of people that are rhythm people that haven't finished it because of the grind and stuff. So I feel like that's probably my best effort on that one, I think. But what I particularly liked about that being an older gamer is that because you had to move your fingers so fast, I get some RSI in the hand after a while. And so I was limited to only doing the song maybe 2 or 3 times. So it increased the pressure for me. If I couldn't get it in 3 goes, my hand was screwed for that whole afternoon, basically. So I wasn't going to be able to try it again. So I don't know. I would definitely play that one again. I don't know if I'd be platted again, but I would definitely do it again. Do you have another one you can throw out for us?
Breath of Fire 3. Well, going along with this, like there's several JRPGs. I think Breath of Fire 3, Golden Sun 1 and 2. Yeah, I guess those 3. I'm trying to think of I'm sure there's other ones, but I think those 3 would be like some of the top ones. I don't know.
What system were these on? These were from...
They were on, I played them on GBA, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Pretty sure they were. I know the Golden Suns were. I think Breath of Fire was GBA. That was Game Boy Color.
If these games were to hypothetically perfect world come across, would you like to see really grindy lists for them, or do you think it would be?
Well, I mean, Golden Sun would be get all the Jin and beat the game, obviously. Do the optional bosses. It'd be a pretty straightforward list thing too, I think.
Yeah, so doable.
I think those would be good. Breath of Fire 3, I don't know. I just liked that one. It had weird characters in it too. I think it's actually on, you can buy it on PS3 as one of those old titles that don't have trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's on. I saw it on there before, but they could add trophies to it.
I think there's a lot of those style of games, aren't there? That they,
Yeah, but those ones were pretty good. These aren't like Coemco or whatever, the mobile ones that they.
To be honest with those games, I've heard they're not, on Vita in particular, they're not too bad. Yeah, so I don't know. They're formulaic or whatever, but I don't know. Something to look for. And then I'm going to throw out, and I think this was a travesty that when this came out that it wasn't a second stack on the system. I was sort of gearing up that it would be. I was sure it would be, and then it wasn't. Was the Nier Automata, the Game of the Year edition? And I know I'm not the only one that assumed that would have been a new stack of that game. When it dropped, and it dropped with the DLC or small DLC that there was for that game, but no second trophy list. So I thought that was really sad because I'd put off playing that game for ages and ages, and then I finally played it with the idea of sort of using the trophy shop or whatever and just getting the plat, and then maybe playing the next stack of it legit, but over a long period of time, sort of a Final Fantasy sort of commitment, just chipping away at it. But yeah, I found that very disappointing. I know you played that game as well, Unknown. I don't know whether you would stack again.
I don't know if I'd play it again. I mean, it was a good game. I don't know if I'd play it again though.
Yeah. I don't know. I seem to get drawn into some of these sort of, random random games that I'd love to play again for some reason. I don't know. Have you got any others? Anything else you want to throw out there? Or
Pokemon.
oh god, no.
I think that would be a good one for a trophy list, though. It will never happen.
Really?
Never ever happen. What do you mean, really? Yes, collect
What,
Pokemon.
what about Pokemon Go? Like Sony does a mobile app where you can earn trophies. That'd be cool.
No, we don't want more of these mobile app trophy games. We have like 10 of them already where you need your phones and stuff.
That's true. So you want a proper Pokemon game?
Yes,
Like,
but we're getting one on Switch, so it's fine. And then,
that's true. Do you think we're never going to get one on PlayStation?
No, you'll never get a Pokemon game on PlayStation. No. Never. No. That would just like that's like one of Nintendo's best selling series. They would never do that. Never going to happen.
I wonder with Microsoft and Nintendo becoming more friendly by the day. I wonder, who knows, maybe one day we might.
I don't think it would be on Xbox. If Pokemon is on Xbox, I will be like so shocked. It'd be like I don't know. It'd be like if Mario was on Xbox.
Shocked enough to buy an Xbox?
I don't know. I actually think if I was Nintendo, I would value Pokemon more highly than Mario.
Well, it seems to be pretty big at the moment, doesn't it?
I feel like you get more from Pokemon than you're getting from Mario. It's probably not true. They probably just make more from Mario because they had like Odyssey and stuff like that. But like, I feel like I would just rather have Pokemon as my asset if I had to choose between the two.
I know it's hugely popular. I've never fallen down that hole, so I'm going to stay away from it. But yeah. Fair enough. Can I ask, because I know nothing about the Pokemons or the Pokemon world, does the Detective Pikachu, I believe he's a Pokemon or she or whatever it is, does that interest you?
No, it does. The movie does not.
Oh, it does not. But it is a Pokemon, that thing, isn't it? Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. That thing is a Pokemon.
I don't know what it is.
I guess.
I don't know what it is.
They tried to make it look like one. They did a better job than that Sonic thing.
Oh my goodness, that was it. Did you see that they've delayed that to 2020 because they're going to work on the Sonic image?
Yeah, watch it be worse.
Japan is unhappy.
Watch it be either worse or not significantly better, and people.
Oh, I don't think it could be any worse.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I guess it could be.
They'll make it green or something. They'll just dye it a new color. I don't know. Yeah. And then it would be remiss if I didn't throw out my favorite game of all time, which again will never come to PlayStation because Microsoft cleverly and finally acquired Turn 10 Studios last year. Do you know which game I'm alluding to, Unknown? I don't think you probably do.
I'm going to guess Gears of War or Halo.
No. Neither.
Sunset Overdrive.
We're gonna no, it's not. We'll just name the Xbox catalog. Would you like to do that? It's of course Forza. Any of the Forza games, it wouldn't matter. But Forza.
We have Forza on PlayStation, don't we?
No, Forza.
We don't really.
No. They were never a exclusive studio to Microsoft. They had a deal with them, but Microsoft acquired them announced the acquirement at the last E3 on their big spending spree where they bought 101 studios or whatever they did. So that was one of them, which was a great buy. The game is phenomenal. I mean, to be honest with you, the game could not run probably on PlayStation anyway, or not run properly. It would have to be detuned, I imagine. Or whatever else, but it's an amazing racing game. It's the pinnacle of arcade racing across all systems. And if you have a high end PC, it just looks unbelievable, or whatever else. And it obviously has an achievement list or whatever else, so it would easily transfer into trophies if they ever did that. And I think it would be great. I think it would be great for people that only own a PlayStation console. I know a lot of people that like racing games say they would always play Forza if it was on PlayStation, but they're not going to buy an Xbox. So
I guess you're right. We don't.
No. I know that.
I thought we had one.
Yeah, I know the hardcore sim side of Forza, perhaps not, but the arcade side, the Horizon series, like 2, 3, 4, they're all really good or whatever else, a little formulaic or whatever, but just open world racing fun. So I mean, if you've played it before, obviously you would agree, I think, and if you haven't, then I'm sure and you like racing games, you would love it. It's just great. Yeah, so I don't know. That's quite a few games there. I wonder if the listeners have anything they would love to, maybe something really obscure they would love to see.
I got some obscure stuff, but
I
don't know.
Too obscure.
So obscure. No, I don't know. These might not even make good ones. Like I was thinking of like SNES stuff that I played. Like Metal Warriors. No one knows what that is, I'm sure. I had some more. Now I can't think of them. Donkey Kong Country. We already have Mega Man's, like the platforming ones. There was this Mega Man RPG that was on PS2 that I would play. I don't remember the name. And Kirby.
Oh, Kirby! Wow.
Yeah, notice how like most of these are Nintendo-based things.
You're gonna have a wonderful time on the Switch because all these things are there. They all exist. They're all waiting for you. So, Kirby, wow. There was a new Donkey Kong port or game as well on the Switch last year. It was very good.
I think it was actually on the Wii U, and then they brought the same thing over and made it easier.
It's a port, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. Interesting. Well, look, like as if there aren't enough trophy games already, but there are some that could be brought across. I think we would both enjoy a lot. And as I said, our listeners, I wonder what you're sitting there thinking. I hate all those games, but I would love to see this game. That's what they should have said. So, I wonder what that game for you would be. You can let us know if you like or not. That is really your prerogative. So, there was a nice little sweet topic. Why don't we shuffle across to the spam games of the week? What do you?
Oh my God! You want to talk about the 6 stacks of?
Go for it.
All right. Well, we got this Warlock's Tower, which is like a 1 hour 6 stack typical rat stuff. I guess it's just not typical. I think you got to finish this one.
Mm-hmm. Still short though.
We got Word Wheel by Pauji, and we're gonna get. I mean, we got 2 lists of this already, but we're gonna be getting 4 of these. You know it.
I don't know if you saw this, but somebody's written a guide for this. It obviously doesn't come out till June sometime. But rather than post the guide, or maybe they're under embargo or something, they've actually posted in each of the stacks a little thread saying, "I've written a guide. Come back, basically, and use my guide on the day it comes out," which is just great, isn't it? And
what are we talking about? Word Wheel?
Yeah,
or are we talking
sorry,
about
Word Wheel. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And the guide is apparently 30 to 60 minutes. So I don't know. It'll be one of the quicker ones, I suppose.
Well, you don't want to use a video guide for this. You want to use a text guide if you're using a guide.
Well, it might be a text guide. I don't know what he's done, but he's already got his message there, which is just great. So whatever. I'll throw one out. I'll throw 2 out. Sun S.O.N on the store. I believe you have to type in, but just written as Sun on the trivia list. So this had an NA stack. It is only 100% or whatever. Shout out to some of the randoms who have managed to do this in like 11 minutes or 6 minutes. I heard somebody did it in. So there's a lovely bit of save manipulation going on there for sure, or whatever else. But it is very short. I think it's like 20 minutes or something. It's a subpar horror, I would say. I know some people have
subpar horror.
Yes, I don't think it's very good. And I also think it was I picked up the EU stack the other night. I had a lot of troubles with the NA stack at release. It blue screened twice on me. I don't think it was very stable at all. But I'm sure they have patched it since then. I hope so, because it's not necessarily a cheap 100% game either. So, it's fine for what it is. It has some good atmosphere or whatever else, but there's a lot better. So as a trophy game, that's fine. But I don't think there's a lot, a lot in that game, particularly other than spam. I think, and then
House in Fata Morgana is that is any version of like a 1 hour Japanese VM. So
that's correct. Yeah.
I mean, for those that want to read it, it's good though.
Is it?
If you're actually read it, I heard people. I mean, it might be good. I don't know. I would probably not.
I shouldn't have questioned you. Oh. Yeah, I see. I said people have said it's good. So someone referenced the Death Mark they're reading at the moment, which I thought was fantastic. Probably one of the few VNs I've read, but I thought that was a fantastic VN. So if it's in that vein, then I would definitely be interested in it. That could be it. To read it, that could be quite good. And then this Super Tennis Blast, which hit the stores the other day. So just a preface on this game, it does have a couple of glitched trophies, so you may need to wait just to check if they patch it or not. Hopefully they will. Most likely they will. The trophy list makes it sound potentially like it could be difficult, but it's really not, because you can put the AI on extremely easy difficulty and the matches down to just 3 matches. So it's still going to be, a little bit of a time sink, because you have to play through one season. I don't know, maybe like 5 hours, 6 hours perhaps, but very easy, and it's kind of fun as well. And of course, if you want to play legit, you can put the AI difficulty up to a harder difficulty, and then it becomes more challenging or whatever else. So that's quite good. Anything else you see there?
I'm gonna say that this Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted is gonna be easy. I'm gonna call this as a 45-minute VR plat.
I know you mentioned this before we started, and I was going to pass on this game until you said that. And now I'm thinking maybe I should try it.
I feel like it's gonna be short because it's like VR. I don't think it's like the full game.
No.
Well, the game wasn't all that long, I don't think, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's not exactly Five Nights at Freddy's. It's gonna be some spin-off thing, and I'm gonna say that this is under an hour, 100 to plat.
Okay. I may. Oh, I've got the afternoon off today, so I was actually tossing up doing some Everybody's Golf VR, but maybe I'll do some Five Nights at Freddy's instead. I don't know, and then some Layers of Fear. That sounds like a good horror fest sort of a night as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to Rage 2. Who knows? So I mean, that's more than enough spam as usual. So I know. Oh,
No, I'm gonna point out though, we've been talking about these games. The top, all right, so of the games we talked about, let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Out of the top 15 lists, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of them are the spam we've been talking about. 12 of the 15 lists that have appeared recently.
it's impressive, isn't it?
That is insane. 12 of the last 15, under an hour to finish.
Well, I mean, this Effie as well could quite possibly be too.
It might
Puzzle
be.
platformer. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think that's a couple of weeks away though. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a ton of choice, isn't there? I mean, and people will still be reeling from the energy cycles and the things balances and things that have dropped out on the Asian stores in the last week or two as well. So. Oh, I must give a shout out. I don't know what region this is, but I don't know if you remember this game, Unknown. The Dreamlands, Asling's Quest.
I'm not. Don't play that thing. That thing is awful.
Well, it's definitely spam.
God, that thing is like, it's like an hour 100%, but it was like so messed up for me. I'm not gonna play that again. Why are you even playing an hour 100% at this point?
No, I remember playing that a few years ago when it was fine. But yeah. I was
but like it's not even worth it.
No.
Like if you're stacking it, you're clearly playing it because you want the trophies and you want the trophy count up.
Yeah.
If you're stacking this thing is not like a great story.
Oh no.
I just question why you're doing it at this point. Because in your 1 hour, that's like equivalent to a 4-hour plat. Are you just playing 1 hour plats or half-hour plats?
I don't know. It's just what the OCD kicking in for the people. I think they see it and they just want it and they do it. I don't know. Maybe
I guess gotta do all the stacks of every game I've ever played.
That's right. Or maybe they're just going to try and play only 100% games, and therefore they have to play it.
No plats in 2019.
That's right. 2019, yeah, that's a trend, yeah. Although, as you said, I think we have to be careful we don't accidentally pop a plat in some games there and that. But I'm sure they know what they're doing, or somebody does behind that thing. Anyway, so look, that is a ton of stuff. So what are you going to be playing this week, Unknown? Have you got anything lined up to start?
I really don't know. I don't know what I'm going to be playing. I have some trophy trash games that are already bought and stuff just because they're cross-buy and things. I was going to play the free Minefield, maybe. I like Minesweeper. And I might play some Tetris 99 if I ever get this eBay thing sorted out. So
something.
I might just buy some rat games or something. Who knows?
We'll play something because our turnaround this week between recordings is going to be quite short. So you'll have to put something in there. I think it can be whatever you like.
I'll have to play something in the next 3 days.
Yes, pretty much so, I think. Although our next guest, I believe, plays everything short, so he can probably just entertain us.
We don't have to talk.
The hour or so, no.
How much can you really talk about a rat game,
That's exactly. Well, I think we're going to find out.
10-minute one.
Maybe just remove all sharp objects from your house before the next episode, just in case it pushes you over the edge, I think. we shall see. So look,
it might just convert me into the rat spam monster.
Yeah, well, it'll either convert you or disgust you. I don't know. I'm leaning towards disgust. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens there. So, look, thanks again, listeners, for joining us today. A little bit of everything as usual and a little bit of nothing, but we had some fun, and I hope you did as well. I know our Twitter thing is slowly growing. I even ventured. I never know what to write on there, so I usually just put the episodes. But I ventured into putting something there the other day, and that seemed to be the okay thing to put. So I don't know. Maybe I'll venture into doing that again this coming weekend. But by all means, if I do, and we share with us what you're playing on the weekend or whatever. Probably won't affect Unknown, but it might affect me. I might decide to have a look at it as well, and be influenced by you for a change, I think. So just before we wrap out as well, I just got an email. So I don't know if this interests you, Unknown, but this is hugely exciting for me because I knew it was coming, but I was not expecting it. The season 5, this is not a game, listeners, I apologize. Season 5 of Black Mirror, the TV show, Netflix show, is coming the 5th of June in Australia.
I actually watched some of that when I had Netflix.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That weren't bad.
Yes, some of the darkest things ever. Some episodes better than others, but that's great news. Season 5, the 5th of June.
Some are dark, some are just weird.
Yes, some are very, very strange, but there's a couple in there that are terrifyingly dark. Anyway, so that's the 5th of June. Well, maybe we should just watch that.
There's actually nothing to do with video games whatsoever. Well,
No.
actually, there's some video game episodes in there.
There is. And there's a game called Black Mirror that has nothing to do with the Black Mirror show as well, which is is an easy 4-hour plat. Anyway, so we linked it in somehow there, yeah. So, Unknown, where can we find you this week playing? Well, we don't know what you're playing, so that's going to be even more exciting. But where can we find you?
You can find me streaming on Twitch at Twitch TV -Mr. Unknown 625.
Excellent.
Or I post some stuff on Twitter sometimes. So
yeah, perfect.
Twitter is also Mr. 65.
And if you're looking for the show, you can find us on all good podcasting services. It's growing every week. Somehow we're ending up on systems that I didn't even know about. So I'm not sure how that's happening, but thank you to whoever's done that or however that works. But you can definitely find us on iTunes Podcast, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radios, and Spotify. Each week coming up, we're pushing the release dates just back a little bit by a couple of days. I know we've been saying that on Twitter, but I haven't actually said it on the episode. So don't panic. We are still around. If you want to send us any messages, you can send us that via the Twitter at push2plat, at push2plat, or leave us a comment, a like, or a subscribe across any of the platforms. It all helps, particularly helps with us sourcing some exciting guests that we've got coming up in the future and then moving forward as well. So I think that is more than enough from both of us today. Happy trophy hunting, happy spamming, happy non-spamming if you prefer that, and have a great week. Thank you, Unknown.
All right, see you, everybody.